Alright, so this video is going to be on Inquiry 2 standard. It's basically about tools, selecting the appropriate tools for your experiment and going through the correct procedures and what procedures need to be done.
Alright, so we're going to look at another experiment, and I want you to think about how you can conduct this experiment. Kathy wants to grow hot peppers in her garden, and she knows that the plants will need light, soil, and water, but she isn't sure exactly how much water would be best. She makes a hypothesis. If I add 50 milliliters more water than I normally do, then my plants will grow more than with other amounts of water.
So the independent variable, well, ask yourself, what is Kathy going to be changing in this experiment? What does she have control over? So she's going to be changing the amount of water. The dependent variable is what she's going to be measuring at the end of her experiment or throughout her experiment. What is she measuring or observing? She's going to be measuring the growth of the plant.
All right, her control variable. Kathy normally gives her plants 100 milliliters of water each day, so this is going to be her control. This is what she will measure the other plants against.
Her constant, remember that's the stuff that stays the same in the experiment throughout the entire time of the experiment. The type of soil, the amount of sunlight, the containers that the plants are in, the temperature, the type of pepper plant, and the type of water.
Okay, now we need to think about what kind of tools will Kathy need. She's going to need a graduated cylinder to measure the water, a meter stick or ruler to measure the plant height and width, and she should have a thermometer to make sure the temperature is the same for each plant.
Now think about the procedure that Kathy will need to follow as she does her experiment. And basically this is just the steps that she has to do to complete it. So she's going to have to get some plants, some identical pepper plants, and keep them in identical environments. So remember back to our constant, it's the same temperature, same container, same water. And then she's going to water each plant each day at the same time each day. For the control plant, remember she's going to keep that the same that she's been doing, so it's going to get 100 milliliters of water.
Her control plant gets 100 milliliters of water. Plant 1, she's going to give 150 milliliters of water. Plant 2, 200 milliliters of water. Plant 3, 250 milliliters of water. Plant 4 is going to get 50. Plant 5 is going to get 0 milliliters of water. At the end of each week, Kathy's going to measure the plants and chart their growth on a data table. At the end of 8 weeks, she will see which plant had the most growth.
So that's the end of our video. The next one is going to talk about how Kathy takes the data and organizes it in charts and tables, and her conclusion from this experiment.